sense and is applicable in terms of how to use that land. God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Eileen Fiscal. 14451.
Can you speak louder?
Yes, I will speak louder, okay. Jim and Shelley worked very diligently and did an outstanding job persuading voters to vote for the 511 ward. Now, I got my ballot last year. It was absentee, and I called the Secretary of State, I called the Board of Elections. The wording is not properly done in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code, but it was too late to change the ballot. Shall a public park or public parks be established in Russell Township? How do you vote for that? You have to vote yes or you lose your park. So the wording on the ballot left me really not much choice. So now a year later, I'm back to where I was when I said to Shelley, I'm really scared because I'm going to get doubly taxed without representation. Shelley is brilliant. She's outstanding at what she does, and she said it won't happen because this is not for a levy. You can't have a government agency that isn't funded. The other thing is that she rents here, and she said, but I pay taxes through my rental. Okay. But it's different when you own the land and you're part of Russell living here. Yet, she has the same interest I do. She cares about keeping Russell green. So does Jim. I agree with all of this. We were a very united, wonderful community. We still are. Russell people that I know love the green land, and we want to keep it that way. I don't like this division, and I don't like this negativity. And I'm really upset that we are totally exposed. Did anybody think about the power of the oil lobby and the gas lobby to work with these other organizations that now can take our 450 acres? Even if we put this on a vote, we're vulnerable. We were never vulnerable until the 511 came forward.
Thank you, Eileen. Thank you, Eileen.
Being in a big pot where it already is, and the leasing thing is the best option.
Did you want to go? You're standing
is
there?
that gentleman?
Oh, okay. Oh, Mark.
I'm Martha Dempsey, Diamonds Road, and I address this to the board, but mostly to Linda O'Brien on the board.
Please speak louder.
I addressed my comments mostly to Linda O'Brien, Charlie Butters, and the former board who tried to sell our parklands without us knowing about it in an underhanded way to a developer. And that's the reason why we as Russell residents have always voted not only for public park space, but to preserve the green space and keep Russell the wonderful, beautiful green community that we all love. And that's why, even though I can't afford it, I'm paying personally for the conservation easement so that the 511 board can't sell the property, the trustees can't sell the property, the probate court can't sell the property in any future board. This is absolutely ridiculous to have be risking by anybody even thinking that green space is a waste because we can't have public access. Thank you.
Mark McGreevy, 15201 Hemlock Point Road, also 950 Music Street, which I do own. I am technically a renter since I am Charmin Clark's significant other and lived with her for the last 15 years here in Russell. There's been many things said, and you brought up about the green space and other stuff here, doing that. I think that's being ignored. We have beautiful parklands that we can enjoy with our animals and do things already. What I am very concerned about, and everybody talks about Judge Grindal and Giago Parks, the Russell people came together and put the 511 Park Board up for a vote and agreed and voted for it because of the issues that was going on with the prior Russell Park Board. You guys have been in place, there's been numerous turnovers for the years of this stuff, but everybody took action because they felt it was necessary to do something to change to keep the parks in Russell. We're talking about doing a 25-year lease now. Scott, you made a commitment that there won't be ATVs, there won't be XYZ, oil, everything, which is great. The problem you have is, and I'm sorry, you had mentioned that you say you're gonna vote for it, you have to vote on these things. What are you gonna do when the Geauga Park Board votes that ATVs or turkey hunting can happen, and I've turkey hunted many times, and I've been invited on a turkey hunt in the Geauga parks. What are you gonna do to stop it? Nothing, because you're gonna say you don't have the money, you don't have the ability to stop it. The seriousness of this has to be considered. It's easy to sit here and say, oh, the best thing to do is turn it over to the Geauga parks because they have the money to handle it. Nobody's looking at what you're gonna do to these parks. The reason why the 511 board, and everybody can sit here and say, oh, they're not doing anything, they don't have the funding. I volunteered to brush hog those trails at the Drew. I will do it tomorrow if somebody gives me a plan where they want it done. I asked Sharman 2 months ago, when can I do it? Nobody would give any direction into that approach. So when you look at this, yes, it gets very emotional because you're looking at what you have for the future here. As Sharman said, we put this away, our kids are not gonna have the parkland you have now. Somebody should start thinking about that and take the time that's necessary to make sure you can do something that you can enforce. Because I guarantee you when it goes to Geauga Parks, you will not have an ability to do one thing to protect it.
Thank you.
Charlie Butters, River Glen Drive. I'm a past commissioner, and I just wanted to clarify one thing on the Dines Road property that came up about a year and a half ago. We had a fiduciary duty to listen to this person that came to us and wanted to buy it. If we didn't, we could have been sued by some people for not doing that. So we had to go through the process, listen to this man, and when we sat down with him and said, we will not sell that without a full conservation easement. And we understand that the conservation easements that are put together by the Land Conservancy are rock solid. We thought that would send him away. He was not going to develop it. He says, and he was talking significant money. And he said, okay. So then Linda and I had to step back and say, well, now we've got to take our time and do this right. So we went through it, and a lot of legal fees that we were going through at that time is because we were under attack by these groups that Scott talks about, by the trustees, trying to force us into doing something. We were going through the process the way we should, documenting everything, and then at the last, we decided not to. But it was significant money, and if that property would have been bought by that guy, you guys right now wouldn't know the difference. It could be owned by him, it could be owned by us, it could be owned by the trustees, it could be owned by Saudi Arabia. We had faith that the Land Conservancy's conservation easements are strong and would protect it. And that's the only way we were going to do it. That's why we went forward with even discussion. So, thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Chuck Walder. I live at 9240 Music Street. I've been a resident of Russell for 31 years. I'm also the Geauga County Auditor. I guess my mom used to say something. She used to say, don't confuse me with facts, my mind's made up. I have the feeling that's what we're up against here. The reality is, this was the budget submitted by this commission to the Budget Commission this year. All the items in yellow, all the items in black were my edits to it, my marks on it. I had a fiduciary responsibility to look at the numbers and see if they added up. They did not add up. The reality is, I spent numerous hours with this commission, helping them, generating spreadsheet upon spreadsheet of how to do their numbers properly. These are all public record available to you. I did not reach out to their accountant or their auditor and say, don't do their audit until I sign up on it. I was as shocked as anyone when Scott told me that the state auditor would not finish their audit until the Budget Commission agreed that their balances were accurate. That is a good technique and approach. Scott is a little disingenuous in saying that I asked them to do it. I got a call from them and I questioned, how can I approve a budget whose balances don't add up? They said, you can't. The last thing I will state is they still don't know their fund balances. They don't know their fund balances because they don't understand the difference between inside millage and outside.